Hey, what's up, guys? Here we are in the middle of February, and it's gonna give a little update on my garden and how things are looking. We had a really bad winter here. I think it was the lowest we've gotten in at least a decade and a half, if not more than that. He's Morgan having a good old time. He doesn't care, living life. So, yeah, we had two consecutive nights in the 20s. I have three thermometers in different parts of the yard, and they all showed 20 degrees is the lowest we got two consecutive nights. Then we were below freezing countless nights, and it was long and cold for a long time. And these tropical and subtropical trees, they're just not built for that sort of cold. So let's see. I'll go ahead and go one by one and show you what things are looking like. This is an Allenport Banisham tree, and as you can see, it's looking crispy. Um, yeah. The trunks all still have green in them. Some of the bigger branches all have green in them, but we'll see. I am expecting considerable amount of die off. Um, I'm kind of eager to start cutting things, but I'm trying to be patient and wait to see where the tree starts to show new growth, and then I'll cut back up until that point. Here's one of the things that did decent, Cattleya guava. You can see some damage on the leaves, but overall it did okay. It had just sprouted new growth, and all the new growth died back, but you can already see new growth coming in behind it. So that's a tree that I'll probably add another one of. This is the lemon variety. I'll probably add the strawberry variety. This is a Ruby Supreme guava. It did not like the cold whatsoever. Um, it's already shedding a lot of its leaves, which I've heard can be a good sign when the trees actively shed themselves. It could be a sign that the tree is gonna push out new growth, versus a tree that just keeps all of its dead leaves. Is probably completely dead. So we'll see what happens with a Ruby Supreme here. This is a San Pablo custard apple, which was dormant even before the winter got here. So we'll see how it does in a few months. It's not really showing any active signs of pushing right now. I had another custard apple last year that died, and last year's winter was very mild. So my hopes are not high, but we'll see. This is a coconut cream mango. You can see these branches all look pretty dead, dried up and wrinkly, but the trunks look okay. There's no gummosis going on or large amounts of sap seeping through. This is an orange sherbet mango, one of my bigger trees. This thing was full of fruit before the cold got here. Over here we have an Oro Negro avocado tree, also looking sad. I covered all my trees with like a thick 6mm or 8mm tarp. Um, Wrapped the trunks in moving blankets, taped everything, staked everything down, because on top of the cold we had 40-mile-per-hour winds. As you can see, today's pretty windy too. Maybe not the best day to film, but I had a little break here. So this is a Venus mango. Not looking great either. Nothing's really looking great. So you'll hear a lot of that. This is Super Alfonso mango. P22 mango. This guy flowered so hard. The panicles were gigantic. It was already looking kind of stressed out even before we got cold. So you can see how the leaves on it look droopy. Versus those, they're dry, but they're still standing up kind of straight. These leaves were droopy even before the cold got here, just because of, I think the tree was just a little bit stressed out on how much it flowered. This is a cac mango. This is my biggest tree, fruit bunch. It's a little tiny improved Pollock avocado that's been that size for like 2 years. It just doesn't want to grow, and this cold might have been its last year, I think. But let's see. Actually, had that guy covered with a bucket just because it's so small. Maria Black avocado. The avocados did better than the mangoes at the beginning. They looked green. They looked like they were gonna be fine, and then as the cold continued to extend itself, they really started to suffer. I can just tell by looking at it that those branches are gonna die back all the way to the trunk. They just look like all the life's been sucked out of them, if not the whole tree. So we'll see. This is Monroe avocado. Looking about the same, maybe a little better than the Maria Black. I don't have many potted plants, but this is a what is this? Painter's Charlotta. And this guy actually started pushing during the coldest days. So go figure. I was able to put this guy in the shed there on the 2 coldest nights. But other than that, he's been outside. So Painter's Charlotta handles the cold pretty well. This is a Bailey's Marble avocado. This guy, not avocado, mango. This guy looks pretty rough. He was actually outside in the median, way out there. Out in that medium over there, and it was looking rough, like really rough. So before the 2 coldest nights got here, I dug it up and put it in the shed just to see if it would survive, and we'll see. Early on, before all the results were obvious. So here's one. All right, hold on. Let me interrupt myself. This tree I did not cover. It is under this oak tree here, but other than that, it doesn't have any protection. It is a miracle fruit, and it did pretty good. So green. So here's one that can handle the cold. Yeah, early on, I made a post on one of the Facebook groups saying, once we get through this, some of our trees are probably gonna die. And what are you guys growing that is cold hardy? I'll probably be replacing some stuff with that. And people were kind of commenting, I'm not quitting on mangoes or things like that. They're getting kind of emotional about it, and I can sympathize. You invest a lot of time and energy into these trees, but it's not an emotional decision for me. These are just trees, and if they don't work in my area, I'm just gonna put something else in because I want to enjoy fruit and eat from my yard. So even though this is kind of a freak event and it may not happen again, it may also continue to happen. Or at the very least happen, every 3 years or whatever. So I want to have some variety. I'm like highly, specialized in mangoes here. Like almost everything is a mango or an avocado. So I definitely want to add some more stuff. If the mangoes survive, am I gonna take them out? No, I'll let them do their thing. Mango is definitely my favorite fruit, without a doubt. But we'll if something dies, I'll probably replace it with something that I know does well, just so that I have stuff to eat and enjoy, and I'll make, it's like diversifying a little bit, if you will. This is a Hacia Sapodilla. Sapodillas, they also look rough, but they held up better than the mangoes for sure. Um, Definitely, I would say they're a little bit more cold hardy than mangoes are. Before those 2 nights that we were in the 20s, these trees looked completely fine, and the mangoes were already showing damage by then. This is a Saint Paris mango. Also, just doesn't look great, but I think it's still alive. We'll see. This little area here in my yard um, is protected by these gigantic oak trees, I think. Even though, so this is the east side of my yard, sun rises here. So even though this is technically the coldest area when it's like 4 or 5 in the morning, these are the first trees here to heat up just because the sun rises on this end. And then they also have these big oak trees. Um, so, yeah, this might be a good spot to keep the mangoes in if they end up doing well here. This is a Seacrest mango. You see some of the thermometers I use hanging off the trees. This guy doesn't look too bad actually. Like even though everything looks brown, it doesn't look as shriveled as some of the other trees. And it's a pretty sparse tree. It doesn't have a large canopy, but yeah, I think the location being of these oak trees definitely helps. Oh, look at that racer right there. You guys see it? They're fast. It's good to know that they didn't get hit by the winter, so I'm sure they were able to shelter and survive. This is a Nishikawa avocado. This guy was looking rough before the winter got here. I don't know, maybe it's just me and I don't really know how to take care of them, but none of my avocados ever really looked great. This guy was probably one of the worst ones. This guy and its neighbor, the Ronnie avocado. I don't know why. Maybe they just don't like being under the oak trees or the location I have them in, but they always look a little bit lacking in foliage. But if you look closely, that branch is green, so I guess that's a good sign. This is that Ronnie avocado I was talking about that looked rough even before the cold got here. The trunk is still green, so we'll see if it decides to do anything. This is Tice mulberry. This is a tree that does great with our cold weather. You can actually see right here it's about to start pushing again. So that's a candidate for replacing anything that dies. More mulberry trees. I love mulberries, so I don't have a problem with that. Man, if anybody could help me out with jabos. I know they didn't handle the winter well at all. As you can see, they've almost completely defoliated themselves. But even before this winter got here, I've heard jabos like being under oak trees because they like acidic soil. But man, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 jabos here, and they always look chlorotic. Like they always have very little leaves, kind of brownish looking, and they don't fruit for me. I bought a fifth of these when I first bought these and put it in my mom's house, and it fruits for her nonstop. And it's the same size as all of these are. So yeah, if anybody has tips for the jabos, I'd appreciate it. Because if they do survive, I'm thinking I'll either have to move them or just start doing something different. I give them tons of water, but yeah. This is all my jabos are red hybrids except this one. This one is the Sabra, and as you can see, it did better than the rest. There's also probably it's very slightly larger tree. You can see all the mango leaves down there, or not mango leaves, mango seeds. I usually like during mango season, I'll throw mangoes out here, and this is a really interesting case right here. There was like 5 mangoes that sprouted up on their own, and you can see they all died. one there, one there, one there, one over there. But there's one right there in the middle of them that was completely unaffected by 20 degrees. Zero protection whatsoever. So I think I'll just leave that guy there and see. I mean, there's no, I don't remember what mango seed it was, or, um, you know, yeah, there's no telling what variety it was or what it's going to be. So whether it's going to be a tasty mango or a well producing mango, we don't know, but um, might possibly be a cold hardy mango. So yeah, let's go this way here. Tell it, these orchids that honestly I've neglected for a long time, just been too busy. Forgot to bring them in. They all got just melted by the cold. This is what mango is this? Pina colada. Not looking great. These mangoes here are in between my house and my neighbor's house, and they didn't fare any better either. This is an ice cream mango tree. Sugarloaf mango. This is a Barbados cherry. Barbados cherry was looking really good up until the very end. I said if we wouldn't have gotten all the way down to 20, I think it would have been fine. Pineapples not looking great. The bougainvillea is completely destroyed. And those are old trees. Even my palms, you can see how red they are. But look at the trunk on that bougainvillea there, and it's just goner. Pineapples. These are some jasmine plants, believe it or not. I thought they would handle the cold fine, but even they got browned. Mango. This is a honeykiss mango. This is a white puree mango. Yeah, everybody looks about the same. Palms looking brown. Here's a tree, a fruit tree that was unaffected. Pineapple guava. Looking good as ever. It's only ever given me a couple of flowers. It's never fruited, and I've heard they don't fruit great in Florida, but it's a pretty tree. Has really nice looking leaves. Actually, now that I look at it closely, it does have a little bit of damage to the leaves, but nothing crazy. Just a little discoloration. I forget what these are called, but look at that. All those goners. The blue daisies, all goners. These ornamentals. This is some Silas Wood Sapodilla. Like I said, Sapodillas did a little better, but they still took a hit. That's it. Those are all my trees. So yeah, I think we'll do another update once things start to grow back. See how things do. And if you guys have any recommendations on other fruit, I'm thinking of maybe adding some persimmons, maybe some more cat lake guavas. I've heard Patanga tubas do okay with the winter. Maybe some Gurumachama cherries. Cherry of the Rio Grande. Yeah, some stuff to munch on, even when we get hit hard. As much as I love mangoes, I like eating fruit more, So, yeah. Anybody has anything they want to share, I'd appreciate it. This is my experience. And I hope the rest of you guys in the central to north part of Florida are doing fine through all this, or your trees survive. And yeah, let's remember, man, this is fun. It's a hobby, and it's a learning experience. This will definitely make us better gardeners. So, all right, folks, take it easy.